Good morning, boys and girls. Like I promised you in the first video I did with the Magician Alpha, I promised you guys a follow-up video, and it's good timing because I've got some big news to share with you guys. Magician's come out with a third bike. It's called the Alpha Mini. So if you guys have watched my first video with the Magician Alpha, you'll know that, you know, it's a fairly big bike, right? Big 26-inch wheels. It's fairly tall. Yes, you can get the seat nice and low, like right now, and you know, you can basically make it fit. If you're 5'5" and above, you're gonna fit very well on this bike. But there's a few of us out there that are, you know, challenged in the height department and prefer a smaller bike, a smaller e-bike, right? And Magician's listened and they've come out with an Alpha Mini. So same power plant, the same perfectly tuned Bafang system, right? So you get the same display, the same controller, the same controls, throttle, batteries, all the electronics are made by Bafang, manufactured to work together, and they've just put it on a little bit of a smaller frame. It has the same linkage, it has the same suspension, the same battery, the same motor, just with a smaller frame and 20-inch wheels. Now, I've ridden bikes like this that, you know, have options between 20 or 24 or maybe 26-inch wheels, right? And what I've noticed is two things. Obviously, the first thing is size, right? Being able to swing a leg over a bike with 20-inch wheels is going to be much easier. So if you're in that camp, you like something that's got a lower standover, then, you know, the Mini might be something for you to look at. If you're 6 foot and above though, you want to stick with the regular Alpha, no question. The Mini will just be a little bit too small for you. But if you're like me and you're challenged in the height department, get yourself or look into getting the Mini. Really cool bike, a ton of power, and a nice small package. So just like when they unveiled the Alpha, they've got a very aggressive price point on the Alpha Mini. And if it's something that you're into, don't wait too long, because just like the Alpha, the shipments are getting sold out, and then you're just having to wait until the next one and the next one and the next one, right? So if it's something that you're interested in, don't hesitate. These are amazing bikes. One of the best I've ridden all year, bar none, and that's no bullshit. I'm not being paid to say that, right? Magician did send the bike, yes, but I'm not here to blow smoke and to mislead you guys. This is without a doubt one of the best e-bikes I've ridden this year. And the Mini has all the same things, just in a smaller package. Speaking of price, let's check these out. Now, I still have a $100 discount code to help you guys out with the price of purchasing a bike. But like I said in the first video, the longer you wait, the more they will increase these prices, right? I'm not here to tell you what to do. I'm just trying to give you guys information so that you can make an educated decision, right? That's it. And while we're checking out price, let's check out the little Alpha Mini. Check this thing out. $22.99, same as when they unveiled the Alpha. So if you guys are interested in picking up a bike just like the Alpha with the same amount of power but just in a smaller package, do yourself a favor, go to Magician's website. I'll put a link down here, or better yet, if you're watching this on your TV, you can scan that QR code with your phone's camera. It'll take you right to their website. And please, don't forget to use that discount code. That's $100 off your order. Now, I've had the bike for about 2 months now, been using it a ton. I mean, it's my main go-to for ripping around town, especially when there's things to do, right? Like carrying some groceries, things like that. Once in a while, it's nice to be on a bike that doesn't look like a motorcycle, right? Like just a bike that looks like a regular bike. But you guys know me, I love to go fast. I love to open it up when I can, when it's safe to do so. And this bike is just the best of both worlds, right? Comfortable, practical, doesn't look like a motorcycle. It's not heaty. I get left alone, and it's got power for days. Oh, and it's perfectly quiet. Just been loving my time on the Alpha so far. Now, in the first video, I was a dummy and I couldn't get the app going. So I played around with it a little bit, and let me show you. So the Bafang Go app lets you pair to your bike, right? I mean, apps are great for fine-tuning the bike and you know, getting over-the-air updates, right? As we go along, as the year progresses, you know, we may find different bugs with bikes and things like that, and Magician has the ability through the app to provide updates. Just make the bike ride better, work better, and have no issues. The goal here is just to have a flawless bike that just never has any issues, that just works the way that it's intended, and that's it. And they're able to do that with this app. So check this out. So when you go into the app here, the cool thing is when you go into settings, you can click on your bike, and then you get a bunch of additional settings like this. This is what I wanted to show you guys, what I couldn't get going on the first video. So for every riding mode that the bike has, you can individually tune the bike's speed limit, power limit, start angle, start acceleration for every single riding mode. Like, it's so cool. You can tune absolutely everything on here. As well is right here, OTA update, right here at the bottom here, OTA update. See, like right now, right, there's an update that I should probably do on the bike. I'm not gonna do it right now. I'll probably do it when I get back. I'm sure it's got something to do with a couple little bugs that the bike's been having, and you know, they're able to fix that through software and firmware updates, and this is just done over the air for free. Just thought I'd show you guys the app because it was something that I couldn't get going in the first video, and I apologize for that. It's my bad. Oh, and the other thing I told you guys I would do to this bike is I told you I'd change the bars, and I did. I put these bars on. I think they look awesome. They're not as tall as the BMX bars the bike comes with. It still puts me in a really decent position. It's just not as sky high. Mind you, you know, if you're taller than I am, maybe you've got a taller torso, those high-rise bars are gonna be perfect for you. Or if you prefer to be like perfectly straight up, sitting up, right, with your hands up, then, you know, those are the bars for you. But for me, like you guys know, I've got a mountain biking background, and I prefer, you know, a certain sitting position, you know, nice wide bars, and these give me that. They still have a nice 90mm rise. I've got a nice short stem on there. I love the way these bars fit, and I love the way they feel. It's just increased the level of comfort on this bike, for me at least. If you guys are interested, I'll put a link to the stem and the bar in the description. You can go check them out and maybe buy a set for yourself. So the other thing I'd like to do while we're chatting about the Alpha and the Magician bikes is really address some of the comments that were left in my first video. I don't know about you guys, but I love going into the comments section. I'm sure if you've left a comment, I've either, you know, replied to it, or, you know, maybe just give you a fist bump if it's just a nice thing to say, right? But I love going down there, hearing what you guys have to say, hearing your recommendations, and even, you know, some of you guys are pretty smart and have been around e-bikes, maybe know more than I do, and I've learned a bunch by just listening to what you guys have to teach, and it's just been a wealth of information down there. So I really appreciate each and every one of you that have gone down there, taken the time to comment, and, you know, it just makes all of this worthwhile. But getting back to the bike, let's answer a couple of questions or concerns people have about the Alpha, because you might have the same. First, let's address the shipping. A lot of people think it's crazy that they charge, you know, $300 to $350 for shipping. I personally don't. You know, yes, maybe they could just build it into the price, but I feel like different places will have different costs of shipping. right? The other thing that I feel is totally validated for Magician to charge $350 for shipping is that they use a freight company. This bike comes strapped to a wooden pallet all by itself. It's not in a cardboard box. The top of the package is cardboard, but it comes strapped to a wooden pallet, and it's all zap strap, or it's all like big plastic straps around it, and it comes delivered by a freight company. No FedEx, no UPS to kick your box around and, you know, store it sideways or upside down. Your bike gets to you in perfect condition. You're gonna put it together and it's gonna work day one, right? I've had UPS, I'm sure you guys have seen horror stories from UPS or whatever cheap mailing service that's out there, just ripping up packages and really mistreating the cargo that's in these cardboard boxes, right? Magician said no. You know, this bike is high value. We're gonna charge a little bit more, but you know what? We're gonna use a company that delivers the bike safe and sound and in perfect condition, right? Last thing you want is to get a damaged bike and you know, have to wait weeks for replacement parts, right? That would suck. The next very popular misconception in the comments is, I don't know why, but a lot of people seem to be asking, is Magician a scam, right? I think there's a YouTuber out there that's kind of fear-mongering a lot of companies right now. I don't know if they're just looking for cheap clicks, but to me it seems like very unvalidated videos, right? They're making videos about Magician being a scam and e-cells going under and Magician popping up right away. Oh, it must be the same guy, right? Oh, that makes sense, right? Let's just go with that story and just spread some fear for no good reason. Guys, Magician is its own company, right? It's not e-cells. If it was e-cells, they'd have all of their models, you know, still for sale, right? It's not. It's a completely different frame, different linkage. They're using a completely different electronic system from Bafang. It's 100% different, and it is real. Like, go in my comments and read. There's customer after customer after customer that say, just got mine, love the bike, just got mine, just ordered it, came today. You know, there's a ton of people that are starting to get these bikes and they're loving them just like I am. The other thing that people aren't super comfortable with is pre-sales, right? And I totally understand, right? There is a benefit. There is a huge positive to just being able to walk into a bike shop, see the bike, feel the bike, talk to someone who knows what they're doing, and purchase the bike, walk away with it that day, right? But guys, bike shops tack on at least a 30% increase in price just to be able to have the bike in their inventory, right? They have to pay rent, they have to pay their employees, they have to purchase these bikes and make a profit off of them, right? So if you don't mind spending an extra $1,000 on your $2,000 bike, sure, yeah, go to the bike shop and buy it right then and there. But you're gonna be limited to what you can get, you're gonna pay through the nose for it, and to me, I don't think it's worth it. So then what are you left with, right? You're left with online sales, direct to consumer, right? And if you think about it, I personally feel, I don't know whether this is 100% correct or accurate or not, but I feel like e-cells might have been a business that ran with a lot of inventory on hand, right? And when those bikes don't sell as fast as you order them, as fast as they come, well, you're having to shell out a lot of money to the manufacturer to get these bikes in. And then they get here, now you have to store them, right? Now you have to pay for a warehouse, you have to pay for shipping, storage, all of that stuff. It costs a lot. And if they don't sell as fast as you would have hoped they would, then you're just paying and paying and paying. And that's why I feel like a lot of bike brands are just going under. So when you look at brands like Wired, like Magician here, they're selling their bikes in batches, right? And even some of the biggest brands out there, like Goat Power Bikes, once in a while, they run out, right? They sell out of you know, their current shipment, their current batch, their in-stock batch. And what do? Well, they still sell the bike, right? But, you know, you're going to be getting your bike in the next shipment, right? It's just smart business, right? If you're not huge and you don't have millions and millions and millions of dollars to just spend on storage and warehouse and staff and all that, well, then that's pretty much the only way to do it, is you pre-sell the bike, you pre-sell your shipments, and then you take that money, you buy the bikes, you get them shipped over, and they go to your customers, right? I think it's smart. I think it lowers the cost, and I think it helps brands stay in business and not close down like e-cells. The next popular question I saw in the comments come up is people are going onto the website, right? And they're wondering, should I get the Alpha or should I get the Atlas, right? They have an off-road mid-drive version of a Bafang bike on there. Now guys, those are two totally different bikes. You know, the Alpha is more of a urban commuter, right? It's more of a street bike. Yes, it'll go off-road. The tires are amazing off-road, in the dirt, in the sand, in the snow. I'm sure it's gonna be awesome. The suspension is great. Air suspension you can tune to your weight. Love, love, love the suspension on this bike. But it's not a bike designed specifically to go off-road. I feel like it's a bike designed to be more of like an all-round, like to commute, to go get groceries with the rack in the back, right? All that stuff. The Atlas is a bike that's designed to be ridden off-road. That inverted fork up front is super buttery smooth, so if you're rolling over roots and rocks, it takes all of that away. Same nice air suspension in the back, those big tires, and the mid-drive. The mid-drive on the Atlas is not going to give you the same top speed as the Alpha. So if you're looking for a bike that goes 50 miles an hour and that's perfectly quiet, go for the Alpha. If you're going to be riding your bike mainly off-road, consider getting the Atlas. It's going to be a little bit slower, but it's going to have a lot more torque if you're climbing steep hills. It's going to be better performance off-road. It's going to take away those bumps a lot better. It's going to track the ground a lot better than the Alpha would. So that's the main difference. That's my main recommendation between the two bikes. And if you want the Alpha in a smaller package, like I said before, look at the Alpha Mini. Seems like a really, really fun bike. Hopefully, Magician's gonna sell that one and I get to review that one for you guys too. Speaking of comparing the bikes, a lot of people are comparing the Alpha to the Wired Scout. Two great bikes, I'm sure. Now, I personally have never ridden any 72 volt bike from Wired. They've come out with a couple of prototypes, they've tested them. The main difference between the Magician Alpha, they're both very similar frame, very similar suspension. The tires are going to be a little bit more road-centric on the Wired Scout, right? They've got those all-scape tires that aren't as aggressive. The Alpha is going to have much more aggressive tires for off-road riding. Other than that, physically, they're very, very similar, but electronically, they're completely different. The motor that Wired went with is a metal reinforced gear hub motor. they're using that motor because they say it's going to be the most reliable motor out there. Is it? I don't know, right? You know me, I don't keep a bike for too long. I ride them for a few months, maybe sometimes it's just for one ride. I'll make a video and tell you guys my first impressions on the bike. But Wired is saying that the metal reinforced gears, through all their testing, is said to be a bit more reliable, right? It's said to give you more torque right off the bat. I don't know if that's true or not. And from what I know about Bafang on the Alpha, is it's much quieter, right? Like, I've been riding for a while now. I'm sure you guys haven't heard the motor at all. It's completely quiet. The composite gears that they've got in this motor are it's just like magic, like the brand, right? I have a hard time believing that this is a geared hub motor because it's so quiet. I love this system from Bafang. The motors on the Wired Freedom, on the Wired Cruiser, the Scout, the Predator, you watch any video out there and those motors just scream. They're so loud. But that's what you get with those metal reinforced gears, right? Other than that, look at price. I'm pretty sure that the Magician bikes are gonna be a little bit better priced. You know, is it gonna stay that way? I don't know. You know, from what I'm seeing, Magician is slowly increasing the price on their bikes, and I would probably do the same thing, right? This is a business. So the more popular it is, the more they sell, the more they can increase the price. It's just how it is. So either way you go, whether you go with a Wired bike or a Magician bike, I think you're gonna be in very, very good hands. Personally, if it was my money, I'd pick the Alpha just because of how quiet it is. I trust Bafang. They've been around for years and years and years, and I just love the feel of this bike. That's just me. That's just my personal opinion. Don't get me wrong, Wired makes great bikes, and I've had a great time riding the Freedom, riding the Cruiser, and hopefully they send me a 72 volt bike soon enough. But either way you go, I think you're gonna be in good hands. Some people in the comments were saying, oh, no thanks, I'm gonna wait for the dual motor version. Do you really need a dual motor version of a bike that has this much power, that's this quiet? That's, you know, like a dual motor version of this bike would just eat up the battery twice as fast. Why? There is zero need for a dual motor version when you have this much power and this smooth of delivery in a package like this. I wouldn't bother waiting. Just get this. Oh, I do need to show you something that has changed from shipment to shipment. I've seen some reviewers out there that have been getting these. Some guys will even just purchase the bike, right? So they never even were given a bike from Magician. They just purchased them outright and are getting them just like everybody out there would. And they've noticed a few differences. Now, the original bike came with a 14 to 34 cassette. Great for getting off the line, right? Nice big chainring in the back, right? Nice granny gear. But the 14 tooth, the little guy, right? The one that you're gonna be in when you're going really, really fast. Sometimes people were having some issues. Well, not really issues, but they're just saying that they're ghost pedaling, right? So when the bike's going top speed, they're having issues like still engaging the chain and still being able to pedal without ghost pedaling. So what Magician's done is they've changed that cassette, and they're now using an 11 to 34 cassette, which helps you get an even lower gearing when you're going really, really fast. So for those of you that don't like ghost pedaling, that's good news for you. And the last thing I want to bring up is, you know, a few of you in the comments were saying, oh, no thanks, I'm not buying now, I'm gonna wait until Black Friday, Boxing Day, Christmas sales and things like that. And yes, you can wait until then. My discount code will probably work all the way up until Black Friday and Boxing Day and the Christmas sale. sales, but there's a decent chance that there's a lot of people doing that. So if you guys are on the fence, or even worse, if you know this is the bike you want, don't wait too long, because if you get in line with, you know, thousands of other people that order this bike around Christmas, chances are, depending on where you fall on that list of people, you may not get your bike until next spring, next summer. If you know this is the bike for you, just get it, man. You're not gonna regret this, I promise you. So man, if you made up your mind and you know that this is the bike for you, do yourself a favor, don't wait too long, because you're gonna have to wait longer and longer and longer. Just bite the bullet, order your bike, make sure you use my discount code to help you with the price, get your bike. It'll be one of the best things you've ever done for yourself. You deserve it, right? Yeah. And if you guys want to check out another video, this one here is the one YouTube thinks you'll like to watch the most. So let's see if they're right. I'll see you over there.